Okay, so now I'm going to show you a bit of my work. Sorry. No, here. Um, but I developed a dashboard which is called bigMAG. I will, for this, I will need to give you a bit of context about my work. I work with metagenomics. So in metagenomics, one of the many approaches that we follow is to try to recover the genomes or what we call the mags from the data, from the sequencing data. And once you have the mags, then you can explore or you can try to check how the community is behaving, if there are some dominant genomes, or how is the structure of the community. Again, I'm saying that this is one of the approaches. There are many approaches. But then after, when you have the genomes recovered from the samples, then you would like to measure how good they are, if they have enough completeness, if they don't have contamination. And then for this, we have, I'm going to send this, sorry. Checking the connection. Oh, the computer is a bit of showing problems. I don't know why. Challenge this. Okay. Yeah. But should be work. Should work. Yeah, cool. Okay. I'm sorry for this. This is part of my hand. Okay. So I can go directly to the dashboard. So what I was saying is that we want to measure how good assembled the genomes were. Now, and then there are many tools for that. So we have different tools. One is called CheckM, another one is Busco. I guess you have heard of them if you are working maybe on genomics, or even in single cell when you are assembling, or when you attempt to assemble on single genome. So we can measure the quality through these tools, and then we can, and then also an important metric or an important annotation of the max is the taxonomic affiliation. So we developed this dashboard, which is a complementary to pipeline that runs all of these tools that I mentioned, and then we concatenate all of the information in a single data frame. This is why I was saying at the beginning that we need, or that would be better to have one single data frame to process, because we could have many for each of the tools. But this will mean that each time that we are rendering the dashboard, so it's going to perform different calculations on different data. So keep that in mind, because then it could become a bit heavy, a bit like overload your system. So as far as possible, please keep it in a single data frame. Actually, I'm going to share this version that is online for you, that you can access right now. It's a free instance of the dashboard, so it might be a bit slow for you. So what we are seeing here is a different combinations of plots that are showing the different metrics that we calculated through the tools that I mentioned. So as you can see here that here it's organized. I'll show you in a bit the code, but we relied on this like grid structure where, okay, so this is a row, then this is another row, then the row is split into two columns. So this is how you start to build the dashboard. So for example, you can add, for example, different calculations, statistical tests. That depends on your needs and what you want to show. And then, yeah, for example, here, this is the other one. Yeah, this is the one that I want to show. For example, for this one that I'm showing right here, this is a normal box plot that I show you, that we saw in the morning, built with Plotly. But for this one, it's created with the graphical object library, because I wanted this like rainbow color, and then the basic Plotly Express weren't allowed to assign these colors. I had to create it with the graphical object library. And then it's filled with interactivity, with drop-down menus, as you can see here, that I can change what is being displayed. Also sliders that, for example, one of the important metrics within or to evaluate if the marks are, let's say, good or bad. Well, of course, the proper term is mid quality or high quality, is the completeness or contamination given by so-far like checkm. So for example, we can set quickly the threshold, and then we will see that these are the marks that belong to this category, and then we can play around a bit with this, and then okay, I want to or I want to be more stringent. So so again, each time that I'm moving each of the components or each of the values here, then it is going to like somehow render a new plot. So again, this is coming from Plotly that you can select, that you can zoom in, zoom out. Yeah, so as you can see, each well in the code that I'm going to show you in a bit, you will see that it becomes a bit messy because then I have to place each of the items, and then for each of them I have to create a row, a column, and then if within the same column another row. So as you can see, it starts to be like nested, but a bit messy. But it was the way that I wanted. I don't know if it was like the most optimized way, but at the end I obtained the result that I wanted. So for example, and another thing that it's that I want to stress out is that if you remember, for each of the callbacks, we need the ID that is going to be used within the layout. So for example, in this plot, we are seeing the taxonomic affiliation of the different marks that were found in the samples. And then if I change this one right here, this is a drop down, it's going to change not only this plot, but for example, this plot here at the beginning is going to be changed. As you can see, before it was genus, now it's phylum, because this plot or this graph within the layout is receiving the information from the other drop down. So this is a feature that I really like, that you can control different plots with the same ID, and or you can combine them. For example, this one also received another ID that I don't remember which one it is, but yeah, it's important to keep in mind that you can control the layout, or that the IDs are the main responsible to control the behavior. Yeah, as you can see here, we can change also how many we want to show. Here, this for this plot is like a heat map with a clustering or clustergram. It's like the official name. This is coming from like a mini library that Dash has, which is called Dash View. Then I can show you if for us there is like a specific library that with some like pre-built plots that we can use in our dashboard. As you can see here, you have different plots that you can incorporate into the dashboard. The only problem with this one is that it's a bit outdated. I don't know why they are not like maintaining it. I think it's because it's not like maintained by the core team of Plotly. This is from the like the community of Plotly, so free users. So that's why I think it's not like really maintained intensively. But there are some options. For example, this one, the one that I really like is the alignment chart. So in this one, I can show you a bit. Well, here I think. What got blocked? I don't know. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, yeah. As you can see, then you have this. It's aligned in different sequences, and then you can move this lighting window right here, and then you will see how it changed across the sequence name. So this is one that I really like, and that you can use is direct. You can do, the only thing that you need is your data, your sequences, and then you can incorporate it into your dashboard. And then there is another one. Yeah, for example, in the morning, one of the projects was to build the volcano plot. So we can show you that there is already a pre-built volcano plot that you can directly incorporate. So you don't have to do it from scratch. But yeah, so it's up to you to explore, and then you can reuse the library. Now going back to the application, yeah, at the end you can add also the data itself for the user to check. For example, you can check, we can add filters or something. I think it needs to be there. Yeah, so you can explore the data if someone wants to specifically go to for a data or for a data point that they are really interested in. So yeah, now I show you the code. The code, so yeah, here. The code of the application is not too different from the from what we have seen before. The general layout is the same. I mean, in terms of importing the data, how you capture the data, the layout, and the function with the callback. So, for example, here, oh well, I created this tool to be run from the command line, so that's why it has this parser argument here, so that we input the data through the command line. So, but this is because I decided to create it that way. You don't necessarily need to do it the same way. So that is why here there is this function that is going to capture the data that is being provided through the command line. Okay, so here I capture the data, which is, I know because it's since it is a file that is coming from a pipeline that I also somehow control. So I know already what is coming and how I can handle the data. So for example, here I create this function specifically for that. And then it's coming all the layout. So you can see, oh, I'm sorry, it's collapsed. So here, something that I was mentioning before is that when you want to organize the dashboard in a determined layout, it starts to be one row, one column, one row. So for if you want to organize it, so this is what I meant here. You can see like this is the row, but then we have a column, and then within the column, then it comes with all of these components, and then you can see that it starts to be a bit messy. But the bright side is that this way you have totally control, and then you can move a bit. Yeah, for example, here you can see that you control how many pixels you want for height, or how many you want for width. So this is really for you to gain control of the app, but also again you will be a bit lost. Yeah, so again, really important is the ID, because with this you are going to control the callback. So for each of them, there will be an ID, or you can combine them. So you see that it becomes a bit repetitive, because then, okay, here comes another row, and so what is in these other rows, or title and everything organized in the display that I showed you before. Now, let me collapse again. Okay, and now after this, and now we go through the callbacks. So you can see that we have multiple inputs. For example, for this one, this is the plot for Busco. This is this creates a scatter plot, and then it is getting different inputs because it relies on different metrics to create the plot. And then what it's going to provide at the end is a figure that is going to be rendered where the ID for Busco is located. And then here you can see just like the data manipulation, how placing data, selecting the columns that I want to show, and then to create the figure, and then using things that we saw before, is that it's going to update the figure with different components or whatever that I want to show. And then at the end, it's going to return the fig that is going to be rendered on the dashboard. And then it's really similar in all cases. You can see that all of them. Okay, so it's once you do the first one, then it becomes a bit repetitive, because then okay, so I need the input, where it is coming from, where it is going to be located, where it is going to be displayed. So you can see here that it starts with okay, then it manipulates the data, and then okay, it creates the figure, and then it updates the figure, and at the end it returns the figure. So it's like an iterative process at the end. Something here, for example, the way I did it with the function that is handling the data. So you can see that in all of the callbacks, the function that has the callback, the read data function, it's there because it's like somehow centralized with the data frame that I'm using in the command line. So each time that there is a callback, so there will be somehow like a new reading data. So again, if you do it with only one data frame, it's better than doing it with many of them. Okay, so again, you can keep going. Well, then it becomes like to show to obtain the layout that we had that I show you. Then you can see that it becomes like quite long, and then it requires many callbacks for each of them. And then at the end, well, here as well, you can control the problem that I was having with the notebook, the port, that sometimes if you don't specify the port in which you want it to render, for example, you have another application running and then you don't realize, then it is not going to run. So you can control also that. Here, this is coming, although I can provide it also with the command line. And this one is now, if you want it to be updated each time you modify something, so you can leave it as true, or if you want to maintain it and don't be affected by anything, then you can change it to false. So yeah, so this is like an example that it's a big, like big for an introductory course, but this is how at the end you can rely on Dash to build and to show all of your data and how you want to perform the data visualization. Questions? Is it clear? Something that you want me to show? Maybe something that you saw on the dashboard that you would like me to clarify? How do I go back? Okay.